3, 2, 1.
Let us begin the show.
The responsibilities are on me, and I can't get into my property. There's a leak in the property. The water bill is escalating. I can't get in there to see what's going on.
The alleged squatter originally got into the home through Airbnb, claiming that her apartment caught fire and it needed time to get repairs. Now that was back in February. Roshane Douglas says she didn't know she was opening her life up to a nightmare when she accepted Shadija Romero's Airbnb reservation almost 10 months ago. That reservation ended March 29th after 32 days, and Romero hasn't paid another dime. But living in the home for over a month apparently lets her claim some form of tenant rights, and she refuses to let Roshane enter the property.
I never gave her any tenancy. I never gave her a lease.
Roshane tried everything, gave her a 30-day notice to vacate, called police, went to court, and even offered Romero $2,500 to sign a paper admitting she's not a tenant and to get out. Romero signed the document, but didn't budge.
November the 15th came and she told me, this no longer works for me. Do what you have to do. I'm not leaving. I went to the police with my order, and they said there's nothing that they can do, that I need to go to court, which I've done, and I do not have a court date until December the 11th.
Roshane put this sign up on her home so police and neighbors would know Romero was not authorized to be there. A sign Romero covered with a sheet.
I need police assistance.
I was there when police helped Roshane cut it down, while Romero hid inside.
It's shocking to me that you would abuse a system like that.
While all this is going on, Romero's social media shows her living her best life on trips. Cartwheel. And promoting her nonprofit. And Roshane is left paying thousands in attorney fees, the mortgage, and utilities for a home she can't even enter.
The police allowed her to hire a locksmith and break in. She gave them no documents. She gave them no court orders. She gave them no lease. She just came and said, I'm locked out. This is taking me somewhere where I'm not trying to be. I'm trying to stay on the right, but for somebody to just take and do, everybody has a breaking point.
I went back to the property today and saw child services show up because Shadija brought her daughter into the home while there was no power or electricity inside. Police also showed up because the homeowner's truck went missing after Shadija got back in the house. And when Shadija cracked the door open to get a package, I saw what appears to be a candles and essential oils business inside.
This is unbelievable.
That led to a virtual emergency hearing today. In court, it was revealed that Shadija tried to push Roshane off a ladder, took the utilities out of the homeowner's name and put it in her daughter's name, tampered with cameras, requested that Roshane pay her back for the food lost when the power was turned off. Oh, and she asked the judge if she could question Roshane as a hostile witness. I was with Roshane as she attended the hearing from her car outside the home.
And the sad part is, I feel sorry for her. I really do. But your problem is, I can't help you. But I do truly feel sorry for her and her child and all of this. And I have a big heart, and this is the outcome of me having a big heart. But I really hope somebody can help her, but you can't do it at my expense. I don't have it. If the judge doesn't give me some release, I'm gonna lose my property because I can't pay $4,000 a month and my other bills and my responsibilities like this. And there's no recourse for me.
Tell me how it got to this point.
In February of this year, I moved into the unit initially through an Airbnb. There was a month agreement which I paid for on the Airbnb platform due to a fire, which I then asked the owner if we could extend the time frame in the home. We came to an agreement that I could do that. She sent me monthly invoices, which I paid those monthly invoices in order to stay in the unit. I had a month where I had a financial loss of over like $17,000.
Was that due to work or personal?
It was a personal issue. I helped someone in the past and it came back to bite me because I am everyone could see. You can search me because I'm not hiding from anyone. So they were able to find me, and then I was held liable for something I helped someone do. So that put me in a financial strain. But either way, I paid. I still made the payment. I made the payment late because I had the issue. I'm sorry, I'm emotional. I didn't mean to get emotional. I'm trying to speak clearly. The financial thing was, like I said, almost $17,000. So it sent me into a depression. Prior to me going out of the country, well, actually, I was going to make a payment on the 15th of October. On the 15th of October, my daughter's car, her steering wheel locked while she was driving, and I had to get to her because she was on the roadway, and the issue I needed to make sure that she was safe and get her resolved. That took me past the hours of bank hours, so I didn't make my payment on that day because the bank had closed. I had the emergency situation with my daughter. The next day I went to retrieve the funds for the payment because I was going out of the country and I wanted it, taken care of while I was gone. But it wasn't. The money was lost. I wasn't aware of that while I was gone. I came back, and so the 15th was the day the payment was due. 16th, I went out of the country. When I went out of the country, because I had just had that big financial loss, I turned all of my phones off because I was trying to decompress from, what I had been experiencing. And I didn't turn my phones back on until later that Monday. When I came into the property on that Monday, so that's maybe 6 days after the rent was due, the electricity to the home had been cut off. And at that point, that's when I was made aware that the payment had not been made. I then called Pepco to figure out, at first I thought maybe it was a power outage. So first I called Pepco, found out it wasn't a power outage and that the owners had turned off they had turned off the electricity. So then the electricity was turned on so that we could have power. They turned the power back off because they said I had no right to turn the power on. I went to the courthouse that following day to file an emergency hearing because they had turned the power off, and I didn't want them to be able to turn the power off again. No point prior to this did I state anything about tenant rights. Was I worried about anything about tenant rights? Because up until that point, everything was being paid every month. Even if it was paid 2 days late, it was paid. After that, we've now progressed to the point where they come to the home almost every other day. I called the police. The police informed them that I was a resident or a tenant here. She said that we didn't have a lease, which we do not have a lease in place, but we did have an agreement for me to stay at the property beyond the initial Airbnb time frame. So she's been back to the property almost every day. They installed signs. The police told me that I could take down the signs because they were not legal signs issued by the court. They were signs that she had just had made in an attempt to try to harass me more and force me out of the property sooner. I told them that I could not be out of the property within a short period of time because I had just had that financial issue, but that I would go through this process that DC has to assist people who have had financial issue in order to pay the rent. Informed that I would go through that, and that while they were going through the legal process while they initiated the legal process, because they had never initiated the legal process before to have me moved from the property, that I would ensure that everything was paid. And then it's just been a continuance of them, the police and you coming to the home, and the power is currently off. So, yes.
Well, thank you for sharing your side, Juan. I heard you mention the tragedies of financial loss. I do know also when I went through the court records, the messages between you two, the Airbnb reservation, things like that. I heard you say there were payments, but transaction-wise, there was nothing for nearly 9-10 months, July.
Hello, I am Deja with the brand with Love Deja, and I have everything that smells good. We have coconut apricot based candles with wood wicks that burn amazing. Once you burn one, you're gonna love me forever. We have been in business for over 5 years. I love being a business owner. We're down here tonight at Art All Night for Pennsylvania Avenue at Penn Branch Shopping Center. If you're not here, you missed it, okay? My been made tip for the day would be authentic. If you're you and you do what you are supposed to do, everything will come to you and the universe will always provide. Interfering in the video. This is Shadija with the brand with Love Deja.
You're the one, and that's all the prototype.
Did you know that a portion of all of our sales go towards Keelan's Promise, a nonprofit I founded years ago to mentor African American and Latina girls in the Washington, D.C. area?
If you sit in circles with entrepreneurs, you know this is not surprising. This lady out here mentoring people in business and all this different kind of stuff while scamming another business owner. That Airbnb host is an entrepreneur. She put her junk on freaking Airbnb, and this lady been scamming her for almost a year. The longer I'm in entrepreneurship, the longer I realize you gotta be careful who you take advice from.
Good evening, Felicia Ashley with ABC7 with an update on the Airbnb guest turned accused squatter. What I found out, if you remember during my interview with her a few days ago, she stated that she was not evicted from her previous property and claimed that it was another property. Well, even as I was sitting down with her, I already knew what court records said, and I also confirmed that in our report today, that it shows that she was evicted not just once but twice from 2 prior DC properties before she booked Roshane Douglas's Airbnb. In fact, at one unit, she was evicted for not paying rent, and then she moved into the second apartment just a few days after. And then in the midst of that eviction process at the second property, there was a fire that happened in just her unit in that building, and she requested a stay or a delay for that eviction because of that fire, because she said insurance had to get inside and look at the damage. Now, in the midst of that eviction process is when she booked Roshane Douglas's Airbnb. In addition to that, I also found a history of issues when it comes to payment in Maryland as well as in Virginia. In Maryland, she has a case where it's alleged that she only paid a down payment for a vehicle and that never made any further payments on that car. Of course, this is a continuously developing story. They still have courts later this week where we will bring you the latest details. In addition to that, we have wanted to reach out to Shadija Romero again, but she has stated since these discoveries happened that after this, she's no longer speaking with us.
I'm just glad the judge was able to see through it and I was able to prove that this was not true.
The judge said you can evict her right now. What are your plans? What are you about to do?
Evict her. She has to go. I need her out of the property so that I can try to regain the property and get back to my life. I was writing a book, working on a memoir, trying to do women's help organizations and things, and this has totally disrupted my life. So I would like to get back to the things that I could do to help the community, and I think God placed this on me too so that I could help in this area too. So I just want to get back to life.
Good afternoon, Felicia Ash with ABC7. I'm sure many of you have seen the update where earlier today the judge ordered that the homeowners of the property you've been discussing in Northeast DC with the accused squatter, that the Airbnb guest has to leave. The homeowners are now in the home. This is the first time they've been able to enter the home. We are inside of the home with them as they are starting the cleanup and eviction process. They did not have to give Shadija Romero any type of notice because the judge ordered that she is not a tenant and therefore has no tenant rights. You can see we also had some community members come to help the homeowners clear out her stuff. And that is what is happening now. They have started clearing out the home and putting their unwanted guest out. The home is quite packed. There's no light on in here, so it's a little dark, but there is, or appears to be, some heat on. You can see a lot of candles and oils on the floor. The homeowner has said, just looking at this and the whole situation all around is sad. But she says this is just a moment she had to do because she needs to get her life back in order and on track. Appears to be multiple rooms up here. One thing the homeowner said is that it does not look as if she had any plans of ever leaving. It is quite lived in. If you remember, the order that the judge upheld was the agreement Ms. Romero signed to be out of the home by November 15th. Obviously, we know we're nearly a month after that, and it doesn't appear to have been any signs of clearing out the home. Giving you another look of that is Miss Douglas, who you all are familiar with, the homeowner. And we will continue to keep you updated on this continuously developing story.
ABC 7 News is low-key so funny, yet so wrong for live streaming this eviction.
Good afternoon. Felicia Ashley with ABC 7. We are inside of the home on 20th Street that's been on the focus of this squatter versus DC homeowner battle that we've been covering. Today, the judge ordered that Shadidra Romero is not a tenant and does not have tenant rights. Therefore, the homeowners were able to essentially evict her right away without giving her a notice. The homeowners right now inside clearing out the home. Most of it has been cleared out. While we were here, community members who have been tracking this story, who were invested in this story, also showed up and said they wanted to help the homeowners because they feel this situation could happen to them at any time and any day. This is what the
I'm just glad the judge was able to see through it and I was able to prove that this was not true.
The judge said you can evict her right now. What are your plans? What are you about to do?
Evict her. She has to go. I need her out of the property so that I can try to regain the property and get back to my life. I was writing a book, working on a memoir, trying to do women's help organizations and things, and this has totally disrupted my life. So I would like to get back to the things that I could do to help the community, and I think God placed this on me too so that I could help in this area too. So I just want to get back to life.
And to the DC squatter who finally got evicted yesterday after not paying her Airbnb host since March, causing tens of thousands of dollars in property damage to that Black woman's home, and on top of that, trying to switch the utilities over into your daughter's name, I assume because you have terrible credit, as opposed to the owner of that house. Girl, Black woman to Black woman, fuck you and your funky ass business. Okay? Enjoy homelessness, hoe.
Okay, so let's talk about it. You rent Airbnb for 31 days. You get the mail switched over into your name. You change the water bill that's in the Airbnb into your daughter's name. And then you tell them that you're going to try to pay them directly. You never make the payments. You've been there for over 10 months with, okay, I ain't gonna say with water, because you pay for the water with heat, lights, and a full house. And then you have this house packed from the top down to the basement with stuff. Like, you literally accumulated so much stuff into this woman's house. Like, it looks like you have been staying there. Well, I guess you have been there for a year. You have been there for a year. So it's like, usually I would feel bad, but it's like you did so many vindictive things to this another black woman that was just and she really was trying to work with you and help you. She like even offered to give you $2,500, which you could easily use for deposit or went to pay, at least put your stuff in storage for for a few months, and then figured it out so you wouldn't have to lose all your stuff. So not only how are you losing all your stuff, you're losing your credibility, you're using your side hustle for your businesses, and then also your network. And it just really pisses me off that you're not taking no accountability. I'm so happy that this lady was able to get her place back, and it wasn't like this extra 7 days or extra 3 days. They say, no, you have no rights. Like, you supposed to have been up out of there. They jazzy jeffed her up out of there so quick. Like, they didn't even call a locksmith or anything. I think they just like bust a hole in the window, and then like some people from the neighborhood was just helping to move her stuff to the curb. They didn't have time to get no big tub, no storage or anything. Like, that's how serious and critical it was for this lady. And she said she was paying like almost over $4,000 for the mortgage and all the stuff to keep it, within code. So kudos to her. I'm happy that the judge sided with, the homeowner, and that, she didn't have like not a minute extra, not an extra 24 hours or nothing. Like, you really knew you was going to get evicted today. Why wouldn't you put your stuff in storage? When they just evicted her on live, she had nothing packed, y'all. Nothing was packed. I mean, nothing. She really thought that she was about to come home, all her stuff was going to be there, or maybe she was going to get another extra 30 days. Like, see, that's what y'all problem is. Y'all thought y'all squatter rights, that every state is the same, or you think that you could just do the okie doke and the roopity woo. Thank God that lady had booked it through Airbnb and, had everything kind of somewhat together. But yeah, y'all, I wouldn't be playing with myself like that. Like, that's crazy. Like, I think we've all, nah, we ain't never did that. Which I think. Yeah,